Thank you, Madam President and members. Well, we've heard a lot of pleas from parents whose children have diseases and conditions that are not being treated effectively by traditional medicine. And I certainly have compassion for those parents, and I will fight for medical advancements to better manage these conditions. Now, the author of the bill has spent a great deal of time coming up with the 24 pages here of language that appears to cover what a dispensary is and what a qualified patient is and what a debilitating condition this medical marijuana could be prescribed for. But the problem with this bill, members, the problem with Senate File 1641 is that it is built on shaky ground. It is like a house built on the sand. And why do I say that? Because medicine requires that we have scientific data, controlled, randomized studies to determine what of any of the 400 ingredients in marijuana may or may not be effective. Those particular studies would need to be determined as far as what is a therapeutic dose. What are the contraindications? What might the side effects be? And really, maybe to the very heart of it, what is a consistent dose? How is it going to be the same from person to person or from case to case? Or even from buying one bottle and then getting another bottle that has different ingredients in it. And so this whole bill, well, it's trying to determine how Minnesota should be allowed to dispense marijuana and medical marijuana. It's really built on sand. It's built on shaky ground because we do not have the scientific information that can allow doctors to use best practices in prescribing particular pharmacologic drugs for specific use. And that is what is missing today, members. It is a premature bill. We do not have the data upon which to enact this legislation effectively. Now, it has been brought, obviously, to our attention that part of the problem is the federal government has classified marijuana as a Schedule I, and research is prohibited. I think we all agree in this room, and perhaps throughout the entire state, that we need more research on marijuana and what the active ingredients are and what the doses may be. But just to address a document that the author of the bill handed out in the Health and Human Services Committee, I want to make sure that people are not misunderstanding the document about drugs and supplements. And it is from the Natural Standard Patient Monograph, copyright 2014. I will say it was printed off of a Mayo Clinic website, so don't be confused as you look at that. But this was a third-party study, and the author of the bill used it to kind of indicate that there were agreed-upon dosages and amounts for particular conditions. But members, if you were to read this, you would note that it particularly says, and I will quote here, because it's considered here with the herbs and supplements, many herbs and supplements have not been thoroughly tested, and safety and effectiveness may not be proven. Then it goes on with something even a little more scary. Brands may be made differently with variable ingredients, even within the same brand. And then, members, I was kind of looking at this document that the proponent of this bill used to kind of justify one reason why it was important. And so I'm looking here at this, and you'll notice that there are specific diseases, specific medical conditions, and then here's what it says about that. So, like, for example, this bill on page 2, lines 0.13 and through 1.5, 6.15 talk about the specific conditions that this author would like medical marijuana to be prescribed for. One of them is called amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. That's nerve cell disease. Well, here's what his supporting documents say about that. Current studies show that THC may lack benefit in people who have amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. And then it says more research is needed. Every single condition on here, members, it says more research is needed. And so the point is, we need that research. It is premature to pass this bill today and have medical marijuana in this state without that research. That is why I support encouraging the federal government to classify marijuana so that it can indeed be studied. And even if that does not happen, we still have researchers, members, who are getting grants so they can study marijuana and what its effects may or may not be. So, members, we need the scientific data. We need to be able to make sure that our laws are not in conflict with the federal laws. Can you imagine a patient having medical marijuana and yet the federal law would classify it as a felony offense? We need to align our laws. We need to get the scientific data necessary that this state expects. Members, we have the best medicine in the nation right here in this state. And it is built upon science. It is built upon high rigor, randomized clinical studies, and that is what we need today. The bill before us does not accomplish that, and in fact may deter the very type of science that is needed. I would be voting no.